more shadows in the dark house. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. No running. No bluffing, no running. No running. No running. No running. We don't back down. We stand our ground in the doghouse where the real are found. No change, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win. No second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse. Time to face the sound. Welcome to the doghouse where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just a cold hard truth. We're the ones who fight, and we're aiming for you. When the truth's forever, we're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Rock and loaded, the truth's forever. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse where the real are found. No change, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse where the real are found. No chains, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. Where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just a cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're waiting for you. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just a cold hard truth. We're the ones who bite, and we're waiting for you. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just a cold hard truth. We're the ones who fight, and we're ready for you. Locked and loaded, the truth's forever. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Locked and loaded, the truth's forever. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. No running, no bluffing, no running. No running, no running, no running. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse where the real are found. No change, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. Welcome to the doghouse, where the strong survive. We're tearing down the walls, no compromise. No filter, no mercy, just a cold hard truth. We're the ones who fight, and we're ready for you. When the truth's forever, we're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all running. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. Rock and loaded, the truth's our ammo. We're breaking down the doors, no more shadows in the doghouse. It's all or nothing. We're here to fight, no bluffing, no running. We don't back down, we stand our ground in the doghouse. Where the real are found, no change, no fear, just pure aggression. We're here to win, no second guessing. No second guessing. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound. This is the doghouse, time to face the sound.
What is going on, guys? It's your boy, the Doghouse Show, coming at you live on a Monday. I hope you're energized. It's a Monday. I know we're excited. We're awake. We are just dragging through the day. Some of y'all may have are on y'all's like 10th cup of coffee, but that's okay. It's okay. I hope you're energized. Hope you're excited. Not a whole lot of news going on today, but we'll cover what we can and kind of scroll through Twitter. We're just having a good old time for about an hour and a half, 2 hours a day. I told you guys Tuesday, but that was until I realized that my wife was going to her mom's house. So I wasn't fully prepared. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this on Monday then. So anyways, we're doing this thing. There's a lot of news kind of sort of going on. We have some of the Kamala stuff going on. We have Tulsi Gabbard news going on. We've got a little bit of what is it we're looking for? The word I'm looking for. Photo opportunities going on. We got a lot of that going on. And we're going to kind of address these in some bulk areas here. So I hope you guys are excited. This is going to be amazing. Yeah. Let's get into this. Let's just jump straight into this, okay? Let's just do it, and eventually people come in, right? All right. Let's jump in to our first topic of the day, and that first topic is going to be photo ops. So we recently had a recent incident. As you would know, today is the 3rd anniversary of the quote-unquote failed Afghanistan withdrawal. It is a failed withdrawal, certainly. But here is Trump helping lay out some wreaths at these at the Arlington National Cemetery.
On the 3rd anniversary of the suicide bombing in Afghanistan that killed 13 U.S. service members, what kind of an issue is Trump using this on?
Well, look, this is a low-key way for Trump to highlight something that he considers to be one of the biggest failures of the Biden administration, and something politically he hopes he can tie Kamala Harris to: the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan 3 years ago. Trump often highlights the death of those 13 service members at the bombing at Abbey Gate. He's done so again in a Truth Social post overnight. Obviously, this is a respectful appearance here at Arlington National Cemetery, but Trump views the Afghanistan withdrawal as a major foreign policy weakness for both President Biden and Vice.
Yeah, so let me explain this, because there's been a lot of issues going on our friend here, Twitter. I said that this was a perfect photo op opportunity, right? A lot of people misconstrue that. They're like, well, Doghouse, the Gold Star families invited him. You're right. About 2 of the 13 family members invited him. If you want to say the Gold Star families invited him, cool, great. I'm not saying that he wasn't invited. I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing that Trump showed up to lay down the wreath, but you would be a fool to sit there and look me in the eyes and say that this isn't a photo op. Okay? This is right up there with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez going down to the border, crying her eyes out at the fence. Okay? When you are a politician, you take every opportunity that puts you in a positive light. Again, Don't assign a negative connotation where there needs to be none. When I am saying that this is a photo op, I am saying this is absolutely a photo op. Now, does Trump have bad intentions? I'm not entirely sure, but we know his track record. We can look at Trump's track record and we could say that if we look at how he handled John McCain and calling him a loser, we can look at the Khan family, the Gold Star family that was relentlessly insulted. We can look at those two incidents and say, look, Trump has an affinity when those Gold Star families do not align with his message to tend to go after them. Now, do I think this was him being genuine? I don't know. And I don't have enough to really conclusively say one way or the other. But we do have a lengthy track record on this. And a lot of people were saying, where's Kamala? Where's Kamala? Where's Kamala? Guys, first of all, do you really think that putting Kamala and Trump at the same event is going to be productive? If your idea of this event is to focus on the families, why would you want both of the presidential candidates in the same spot at the same time? We saw what happened when Kamala was in the same airport as J.D. Vance. And what did J.D. Vance do? He wanted that opportunity. He went down to that airplane and tried to answer in front of the press and make a big spiel out of it. So, guys, it's the same thing here. Why would you want Kamala to show up to this event when all it's going to do is take away from those families? Now, you may be wondering, well, what does Kamala feel about this? Why wasn't she there? Well, guys, it's very plain and simple. She at the very least put out a statement. And here's what some of this statement says. It's just the important pieces, okay? Today and every day I mourn and honor them. My prayers are with their families and loved ones. My heart breaks for their pain and their loss. These 13 devoted patriots represent the best of America, putting our beloved nation and their fellow Americans above themselves and deploying into danger to keep their fellow citizens safe. Today, I am also thinking about all our service members who served in America's longest war, including 2,461 who made the ultimate sacrifice and 20,744 who were wounded. Over the course of nearly 2 decades, they served selflessly and bravely to protect the American people and our homeland. I will never forget meeting many of them on a trip to Afghanistan as a U.S. Senator. These American service members possessed extraordinary skill, discipline, and dedication. I had then and will always have immense pride in their service and in the strength, courage, and excellence of the U.S. military, the greatest fighting force the world has ever known. Now, why does that sound familiar? Because in her own speech at the DNC, this was the same kind of words that she had used. Okay. Again, now you might say, well, where was Biden? That's a great question. Well, how about this? Let's go ahead and look into what Biden did. Okay. Mind you, I want to keep people's memory here clear. There was 3 years since this has happened. Okay. This is akin to saying, why is Bush not at a 9/11 memorial? That is how this is akin to. You want Bush to be there every now. Granted, I think Bush would more than welcome be, but how long is he supposed to do that? Now, I want to show you what Biden did on the initial event that this happened. Here's a story. Biden pays respects to U.S. troops killed in Afghanistan. It goes on to mention how basically when they came down in their draped coffins, he was right there to greet them. This is very common with presidents, and it is very common with what Biden did then. So again, guys, when we talk about these events, please research. Please look into these things. It's very, 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 very simple. Okay? Every single question you may have is on a search website called Google, called DuckDuckGo. Okay? Just simply research these things. So again, do I think that Trump was going for a photo op? I think there was an element there. Can I conclusively say whether or not he had good or bad intentions? No, I cannot. But as far as this event goes, there was one comment that stuck out to me, And the simple fact is that we had 13 service members who lost their lives. And today, that is what matters. It doesn't matter about Kamala. It does not matter about Biden. And it doesn't matter about Trump. It matters about those 13 service members who gave their lives for this country. And that is true. That much is absolutely true. So today, if you want to honor those 13 service members, if that's what you want to do, put aside politics and mention their names. But let me tell you, I have seen people in the comments sit there and say that these service members should be honored, only followed by an advertisement from the Trump campaign only recognizing about 3 or 4 family members. Okay? So again, today is about them, not about the politics. Media literacy would be really cool. Right. Exactly, Wes. Imagine someone doing research, kind of like people who read TOS. Rare. Very rare. Exactly, Miss April. And again, it's even more rare. And I don't blame certain people for who look at my comment of saying this is a photo op and taking it from a negative connotation, because a lot of people who may mention that it's a negative connotation, right? If all Trump is doing is for a photo op, sure. Then in that instance, it could be negative, because it's not the word, the photo op, that makes it bad. It's the fact that the intentions were misguided. Okay. So, and that's something I really want to hit on here, is a lot of people keep mentioning this. They're like, well, the Gold Star families, the Gold Star families, the Gold Star families. And they keep mentioning how the Gold Star families wanted to be there. Guys, it's the same Gold Star families who also appeared on the RNC stage. Okay. To me, we have still 13 service members, but only 4 have appeared. I think it was like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 family members appeared on the RNC stage. We had, I think, 2 family members of them who wanted Trump there, which I'm not sure if they were the same people. What I want to know is, what do those other service members' families think? Do they think it was a bad pullout? Do they think that what is going on right now with politicizing this terrible tragedy is a good thing or a bad thing? We have 13 service members, and yet only about, at most, 6 have come forward regarding their loved one and what they feel about it. And my heart goes out to them. My heart goes out to them. I'm not saying that the family members are any less important or that they have any bad intentions. Okay. But there are, at most, or at minimum, we have 7 family members who have been unspoken, who have not said much. And it's very curious. I'd be very curious what those would be. We'll never know how the actual servicemen felt. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's the sad part about it, Wes, isn't it? That while we're going through and politicizing this tragedy, we will never know how the actual service members felt, because they're not here today. That's something to remember. When you sit there and you get on Twitter and you talk about it, those service members didn't come home to their families. They came home to their families in a flag-draped coffin. That's the tragedy about this event. What's up, Takeo? You came in at the right time. I was on my soapbox. I was going. We're talking about the 3-year event of the Afghanistan pullout. You came in at just the tail end of the soapbox. But guys, that's where I'll tie this topic off, is remember those 13 service members. Biden looks at his watch during center mode dues. Yeah, you know what, Jordy? I don't want to hear that. Okay? I don't want to hear that. All right? That's great. I respect it. I don't want to hear it. Okay? That Biden looking at his watch. Okay. Do you want me to pull up the video where Trump hesitated to put his hand over his heart when the music was going at Arlington? Do we want to nitpick this? Biden was there as they were coming down, at least the very least acknowledge that. He was there when those coffins came down, that contraption, whatever it is, okay? Biden was there for that. So give him credit where credit's due. My goodness, he looked at his watch one time. Anyways, let's get off of that. Let's go on to the next topic. Let me get it pulled up here. All right. So next topic. Thank you, Wes. Exactly. It's the tan suit conspiracy, right? It's crazy. So the next topic we're going to talk about is the debate. Let's talk about the debate. So as you guys can see here, CNN broke this news. They said Trump's campaign casts fresh doubt on whether the September 10th debate will take place on ABC amid a dispute over the rules, a source tells CNN. I commented back, if Donald Trump drops out of this debate against Kamala Harris, it'll be a disaster for his campaign, especially because later that next week is his sentencing, if it proceeds. Very little opportunities for wins for the Trump campaign, and this debate is his best chance. And that couldn't be further absolutely from the truth. So what I want you guys to remember is Trump accepted this ABC debate. I had our lovely friend KOE Nation come on to the comments section and say, well, Trump currently has a lawsuit with ABC. Then why did he accept it in the first place? And then KOE proceeded to state, sorry, Doghouse, that's not what Trump said at all. Please stop lying just because of your politics. And then quoted, I look forward to the debates because I think we have to set the record straight. Fact is both campaigns agreed to this debate. Okay. If it was the lawsuit, then Trump would have never even entertained the ABC debate, but he did. And it seems like the campaigns had agreed to it. Either way, what my point is that the debate right now is being held up because the Trump campaign, ironically, crazy enough, wants the mics muted, whereas Kamala Harris's campaign says, no, leave them unmuted. I want Trump to sit there and be able to interrupt me. It's a smart move. It's a very smart move by the Kamala Harris campaign. And let me just say this. Again, I go back to what I stated in that tweet, which is Trump does not have a lot of opportunities to win in the polls. This debate means everything. Kamala Harris is already riding high off of this DNC speech. Her poll numbers are amazing, and we will look into this. They are amazing. What opportunities does Trump have? Well, let's be honest here. There's not very many, and the best place for him to get these wins in is at the debate. So right now, if we're arguing about muted or unmuted mics, Trump, take it, run with it. This is your best chance, because here's the thing. If that sentencing goes through, and I don't know how this would work, but if sentencing went through and it is confinement, how the heck are we going to do a debate? I don't think people understand just what kind of unprecedented territory we are like mere weeks away from. We are mere weeks away from Trump being potentially incarcerated. That is something that we have to consider as we go through the next few weeks. So Trump needs to take this debate. If he wants to win, he needs this debate. Unmute the mics. Just control yourself. Just control yourself. It's that simple. Unmute the mic and just control yourself. That simple. When did you become a Democrat shill? Look, Tiberius, I became a Democrat shill, okay, the moment that the right decided to exile me. Okay, the moment I kept getting called a leftist, the moment I kept getting called a socialist, the minute I kept getting called a centrist, that was the moment I said, you know what? Fine. I'll be what you want me to be. Reality is, guys, I've not changed. My views and my opinions are the same. I look at these things through a pretty objective lens, a little bit of subjectiveness into it, a little bit of it, but my views have not changed. what most people look at is they go, well, Doghouse, you tend to levy a lot of criticism at Donald Trump. And you're darn right. Because Donald Trump has taken over what I knew as the Republican Party. And that is my concern. That is my concern, is seeing the Republican Party be completely taken over by the MAGA Party. And I want it to come back to normalcy. I want the days of Mitt Romney. I want the days of Mitt Romney. I want the days of Ron Paul, or I want the days of Paul Ryan, right? Those days when those were considered far right. Boy, do I miss those days. Now we've got, and again, a lot of my criticism with Trump is that it's very simple stuff. And we'll get into this in a second, actually. Trump likes to go off his script way too far often. If I wanted to support Trump, this is me supporting Trump. This is me saying, hey, look, you're doing this wrong. You shouldn't be doing this. But what has happened, and this is my belief, is that he has aligned himself with so many loyalists that what is now happening is that what Trump says goes. If he says, hey, I want to do this speech for another 2 hours, they're like, hey, you know what? You got it, Chief. Let's do it. And they go for 2 hours. Instead of telling him, hey, look, you shouldn't do this for 2 hours. Do it for 30 minutes. Be concise. Stick to the script. Because guess what? We have seen time and time again that when someone goes out of their way to say, hey, boss, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. What happens? They get canned and they're gone. So the best thing for the Trump campaign is a little bit of criticism. It's a little bit of criticism. Tiberius said, I feel that, but I have been disowned by everybody. Yeah. Well, and again, I've been called far right in some niche circles of the left.
And your mother is voting for Trump. She's voting for Trump.
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, Journey. Oh, Wes gifted a sub to Journey. Wes, thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate it. Oh, it's so interesting. My subs don't update unless I transition. There we go. We'll just go back to this. But anyways, thank you so much, Wes. I really do appreciate it. Guys, we do have a sub goal going on over here. So if you do like this content and you really want to subscribe and help support the channel, definitely feel free to subscribe. One of the things we're working on right now is I've got this little thingy right here, and it's literally not hooked up to anything. I've got it's literally not hooked up to anything, but it's attached to the actual stand. So I'm working on trying to get a focus right. That's kind of the extreme goal. And that focus right will allow me to hook up the XLR. But anyways, as I was saying, that's my thing is when we talk about this debate, Trump needs this debate. There are going to be very, very, very few opportunities for winning. And here's one of the things. We'll cover a few of these sound bites.
The same rules, I don't know, it doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on, but the agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time. In that case, it was muted. I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean,
I didn't like it the last time, but it's fine. If you didn't like the mic being muted, why are you giving a crap now? Why now? He said it in his own words. He didn't like it then. I thought he didn't. I tried looking for the quote, but he said it then. He said it. He said the quiet part out loud. Trump, what are you doing, buddy?
I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean, ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules. Same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be.
And this is very important, too. When KOE is sitting here going, well, Trump didn't say that. He's saying it now that he agreed to it, okay? He's saying it now that he agreed to the debate. So I want to quash any of that concern that, oh, Trump didn't agree to the debate. He clearly did. He clearly agreed to the debate. Anyways.
But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate. Okay?
And then we got this little nugget here. Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute. Where do I got it? Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. Okay. So that was the one thing I wanted to talk about is the debate. Just dodging it for every reason. You like it, you don't like it. It doesn't matter apparently. Exactly. Just doesn't want to debate. Period. Exactly. Because I think a lot of this also goes back to his main talking point right now, and it's getting very frustrating. And we'll get into. I believe we'll get into this. I don't know if we will, but we may. But I'll kind of jump the gun a little bit on this. Is that what I think is happening? What's up? Hey, April's on YouTube now. Look, thank you. I need some love on YouTube, guys. Let me tell you something real quick. I know I'm going off on a tangent right now, and I'm not being coherent. That's okay. The polling thing is not going to be a clip on YouTube. I actually would rather see the clip that I just went on that rant about the service members. That's what I want to see on YouTube, and we'll talk with Retron about that. What's up, April? Hey, show some love on YouTube, guys. If you're not following me on YouTube, please follow me. We are trying everything I possibly can to get this thing to life. It's like when you're performing CPR and you're like, breathe, 1, 2, 3, breathe, 1, 2. And you're like trying to pump it, and you're like, all right, come on, go. And it just won't go. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to breathe some life into that channel, but it is hard. Okay. It is hard. I am learning a lot more about the YouTube algorithm than I would care to like to know. But God bless those who are trying to do it all natural. It is tough. Anyways. Okay, I'm not worried about this one. Let's see. All right, we'll talk about this one here from good old Ben Shapiro. I'm not going to play all 14 minutes, especially because it might be copyright. So we'll just kind of talk about it in general. It's a tweet from Ben Shapiro. It says, Kamala continues to hide every single position she holds, and she has to. The entire 2024 campaign is about whether Democrats can deceive you into believing that slapping a new coat of Kamala paint on a huge pile of Biden-Harris policy turd makes it into a shiny car. First of all, lovely analogy, Ben. I love it. So cool. But the thing about that is that Kamala has a policy. She laid it out at the RNC. She's laid it out on the campaign trail. She has a formidable policy at this point. So anybody who's saying she doesn't have a policy is just untrue. At this point, she does have a policy. You have to accept it. Just accept it and move on. Now, as far as Kamala not talking to the media, this is the really interesting thing to me is the kind of begging that's going on, right? It's like that annoying, I tweeted this out. It's like that annoying significant other that's messaging you, and girls who are in chat may know this better than guys, but it's when that when someone messages you, hey, hope your day was good, no reply, and then you reply back 5 minutes later, hey, hope your day was good, no reply. Can you please respond? No reply. Can you please respond? And they don't reply. This idea and this thing is starting to get really, really weird. Okay, fine, I get it. You had your jab in for that one time that Kamala wasn't providing any interviews. Cool. This whole like day 34 of no reply. You know how cringe that is? That's cringe. This is like the, hey, debate me. Anybody who's been around online politics knows exactly what I'm talking about. There are those people that will just nitpick and say, debate me. And you're like, all right, fine, I'll debate you. Is that what you want? You want me to debate you? I'll debate you. That's what it is. It's what it's like. That's what it feels like. So it's extremely frustrating. And then guess what? The minute she debates, they're gonna be like, oh, well, it wasn't a long enough debate. It wasn't long enough. So debate me. It's like, come on, guys. This ain't it, Chief. Miss April Dawn, I had to use the link because you don't come up under my live, even though I'm subscribed. Yeah. April, I don't know why that would be the case. It's something I could look into with Retron and see exactly why that is, but that's so interesting to me. What are her policies other than build homes and fix grocery prices with like no actual plans? Sea lining, exactly. I don't know what this is, but I trust you, Wes, and I'm gonna pull it up. And if it plays any kind of audio that I do not agree with, I'm gonna be upset with you. Oh, here we go. Let's look at this. Look at this online. All right, here we go. I don't mind most marine mammals, but sea lions, I could do without sea lions. Don't say that out loud. Part of me, I couldn't help but overhear. Now you've done it. I'd like to have a civil conversation about your statement. Would you mind showing me evidence of any negative thing any sea lion has ever done to you? Go away. There's no need to raise your voice. I'm right here. I'm just curious if you have any sources back of your opinion. You're in my house. You made a statement in public for all to hear. Are you unable to defend the statements you make or simply unwilling to have a reasoned discussion? Told you, dude. Sea lions. I have been unfailingly polite, and you two have been nothing but rude. I'm trying to eat breakfast. Very well. Assume we shall resume in an hour. That is such a perfect example of what is going on right now in our politics space. I love this. You know what? Wes, am I able to tweet this out? If I give the proper, like, I should be able to, right? I'm gonna tweet this out. I don't know if I'm able to, but I'm not monetized, so they can get over it. And the proper watermark is on it, so it shouldn't matter totally. Let's go ahead and tweet this out. Thank you for that, Wes. Credit out to you, man. I appreciate it. I'm putting a tweet out right now. It's a pretty decent tweet. I'm just glad to have some original content on those tweets, man. I'm like really struggling on Twitter. I'm like, all right, I got replies. I can do the replies, but then trying to do like original content, it's really great. Felt very relevant. No, it is 110% relevant. All right. So we got that one out of the way. All right. Next is the Trump social media blitz. That's what I'm going to call it. It's a Trump social media blitz. And I'm going to show you the tweet from Steven Crowder. And I think this is pretty obvious what's going to happen. Mug Club, no show today, but I can promise you we're going to love what I'm working on. I can't tell you exactly where I'm going or what I'm doing, but I promise it's going to be big. And I put in here, this is speculation, but I've noticed that the Trump campaign is trying desperately. So we'll kind of just start with this. What's going on right now is Trump is doing a social media blitz. He's trying to reach out to all sorts of social media influencers. He's trying to reach out to the young, some of the older, some of the more Marines, things like that. Which, first and foremost, is extremely ironic because Trump campaign has been doing nothing but saying, well, Kamala's crowds are because she's getting celebrities. They're on the stage. Oh, look at Kai Cenat said that he wasn't going to do the Kamala campaign. But behind the scenes, he's doing the exact same thing. He's been on Theo Vaughn. He's been on another dude that I can't remember his name to save my life, but it was a military guy. You have him going to, I can't remember the other guy's name, but the one with the not Jack Doherty. The one guy with the truck, the cyber truck. Now you've got this potential going on with Steven Crowder. I'm almost certain that this is what's going on. And one thing that I think is really interesting to me is that I don't think this is doing what he thinks it's going to do for two reasons. One, it's showing that you're being hypocritical here. You're making fun of Kamala because she reached out allegedly, a PAC allegedly reached out to a lot of social media influencers. Okay. But you're doing the exact same thing. But not even just that, a lot of the audiences for these social media influencers have crowds that already support you. Do you think anybody in Steven Crowder is not already a Trump supporter? Do you seriously think that somebody who is the Theo Vaughn guy is not a Trump supporter to some degree? All of these people are going to be Trump supporters to some degree or another, whether they're in the red pill space, whether they're in the politics space, whether they're in the military space. All of these spaces are generally pro-Trump. Now, I kind of understand what they're trying to do is they're trying to rev up the base a little bit, but I don't think it's going to make much sense here. Okay. I think overall, this is really silly. I don't know if Steven Crowder is actually going to interview Trump, but it sure does seem like it. And if the patterns are showing itself, it definitely looks like it's going to be a Trump interview. But again, this goes back to my criticisms. A lot of people are going to hear this and go, Doghouse, you must be a leftist. No, I'm saying use a better strategy. Reach out to a group that's kind of tangential to your base, not your hardcore base. Reach a little bit outside the bubble. You know, the little Venn diagram where you kind of have the two circles looking like this, you know, the little two circles, okay? That little middle where there's a little bit of crossover. Look for someone like that. To be honest with you, could look at Kai Cenat even, right? Not that Kai Cenat would do it, but I think Kai Cenat may be a potential there. But you got to look for some of those crossovers. Don't just focus on what's on this side. He's been on Theo Vaughn, which I'm not gonna lie, he was really relatable on Theo Vaughn. Yeah, but I mean that's most of the interviews he goes on, right? As most of the interviews he goes on, he's always like he's charismatic. Look, Trump's charismatic. If there's one thing he's good at, he's charismatic. He knows how to please a crowd and do things like that, even with very little substance. I disagree. I think his appearance on Theo Vaughn's podcast was the most I've liked Donald in like 8 years. I'd have to look at the full interview, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, I understand that. I agree with the Steven Crowder thing, though. That crowd is locked up already. Exactly. Go for the unions, dude. They didn't let Sean Fain speak at the DNC. They let him speak at the RNC. Lean into exactly. Lean into these areas where you don't have overlap. Yeah, I agree. No, look, again, Wes, this is okay. And this is healthy. This is a healthy amount of criticism, right? We ought to sit there and encourage people to look at these issues and say, hey, look, I think that if he wants to win, it should be like this. You should be able to steelman your opponent's position. If you're not able to steelman your opponent's position, then you may not be fairly looking at these the right way. Okay? I do this all the time when I sit there and talk about Kamala Harris and her economic policies and saying, look, I may not necessarily agree with him, but I think there's some very strong points that she really needs to lean on and she's doing great with. I think with Donald Trump, he's got some okay policies. I'm not a big fan of them either, but lean into those. You know, when we look at the drill baby drill, it could work. You want to bring down the price of gas and then you want to try to affect the supply chain through and through. And there's a really reasonable argument to support drill baby drill if that is your policy. Nuclear energy is a whole nother separate thing. But if you want to appeal to the middle of the road climate enthusiast people, nuclear might be the way to go to reach across the aisle. He went to the populace. He should be appealing to the union workers. Yeah, he should. He should. But I think the problem is that his campaign is ran on, I believe it's been pretty anti-union. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe it's been pretty anti-union. That's nationalize all the oil companies. Yeah, but the problem is once you get into like the actual policy and you see that he wants to deport or not let in any socialist Marxists or any of those, which I don't know how you defend that or whatever. But yeah. So on to the next one. So we started off kind of good, right? We're like, hey, Trump, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Well, guys, then this happens. We can't go a week without a flub. We can't go a week without an oopsie, okay? This flub is so bad.
Burning the American flag, I want to get a law passed. Everyone tells me, oh, sir, it's very hard. You burn an American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. Got to do it. We got to do it. They say it's not constitutional. They say, sir, that's unconstitutional. We'll make it constitutional. We're going to make it constitutional. But you burn an American flag, you go to jail for 1 year. That was terrible, what happened at the convention in Chicago. They're burning American flags all over the place, and the fake news doesn't want to show it. Burning the American.
The irony in this is how did Trump find out about it? He found out about it through the fake news reporting on it. But here's the other thing about this is that he's saying we will make it constitutional. So if you want to give it a fair argument, you might say that Trump is saying he wants to make this constitutional by the appropriate way. That's fair. But it's interesting to me how the Supreme Court has already ruled that this is a constitutionally protected form of free speech. This isn't like some kind of, law, okay? To upend this, You would literally have to reverse the most core fundamental right that every American have, which is free speech. You would have to overturn the First Amendment to get this law passed. I don't want to sit there and say that Trump is advocating for overturning the First Amendment, but that's the consequences of what you are proposing. That is the consequence if you want to make it constitutional. Well, you can't do it in the form that it's in now. So is your goal to overturn the First Amendment? It wouldn't be the first time Trump has said that, he wants to throw away the Constitution. But this ain't it. This ain't it. So there's that. First Amendment, the Constitution. He is, though, openly, if people don't understand that, that is on them. He literally is saying to throw away the First Amendment. It can't get any more clear than that, Wes, right? I think at this point, it's like, look, I see the route people can go, and I respect that, where they could say, well, he wants to make it constitutional. But let's walk down that path. This is the problem I have, guys, is look, I come off like I got TDS. I just have common sense disorder, okay? Or I really don't have common sense disorder. I think everybody else does, but how does the logical step work in this? How do you make something like this that is a constitutionally protected form of speech a law? The only way to do that would have to be to overturn or reform the First Amendment. That's the logical conclusion. So there's that. And let's talk about some of Trump's endorsements next, okay? So here are some former Democrats that are now endorsing Trump and former quote-unquote Republicans. I see. I really like this, by the way. The quote-unquote Republicans now endorsing Kamala. The funny thing about this is that you could literally do the same thing for the Democrats. We have Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard. The only one on here that I would be willing to sit there and say was a Democrat was Tulsi Gabbard. I can't think of a moment where Elon Musk was actually Democratic. Maybe I'm wrong in this, and someone could prove me wrong, and I'm fine with admitting if I'm wrong. Not against it. But the only one on this list that's actually kind of like center-left is Tulsi Gabbard. But she was a fan favorite amongst Republicans, okay? That Tulsi Gabbard was the like, hey, look, she was the center right option, right? If you were center right, you're like, hey, I don't like Trump, but I like Gabbard, right? That was one. Now, as far as former Republicans, you have Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, and Jeff Duncan. Now, I don't know about Jeff Duncan, but I know Adam Kinzinger didn't kiss the ring, if I'm not mistaken. I think Adam Kinzinger spoke out highly against Trump. And Liz Cheney was notorious for being exiled from the Republican Party. So I don't think she was a quote-unquote Republican. She was very much a Republican. If we can go down this rabbit hole, Liz Cheney absolutely supported a lot of what Donald Trump's policies were. She was not a rhino. And now rhino is just some generic blanket term that means you don't kiss the ring. So there's that. Let's see. All right, we'll cover this one here. More Trump. I actually won't cover this one. This is more of Trump. There was some video I was going to play that shows Trump saying that he won it last time too, by the way. Trump claims that John James, who lost the 2020 election to Michigan by over 92,000 votes, had victory stolen from him. So again, more election stolen narrative. This is going to be very prevalent going into November. Guys, keep an eye on that. You're going to see this come up time and time and time again as the stolen election. It's election season. Mail-in ballots are going to be the ones that are going to get questioned. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Is you are going to see more talk about the election being stolen as we get closer to November. It's kind of the last straw, so to speak. We also had the special counsel. This is pretty big. Special counsel Jack Smith files opening brief in appeal to reinstate criminal case against Donald Trump in classified documents case after Judge Cannon dismissed it. It's an appeal, so keep that in mind. And a lot of this has to stem from the ruling from the Supreme Court that said Trump was immune from criminal prosecution for official acts. So that's what this is. It'll be interesting to see what's going on. As a conservative that's seen a few elections in a row, how do you feel about mail-ins? Wes, I'm glad you asked me this. So here's how I feel about mail-ins. I do not like them on their face. I will recognize and admit that the stats on election fraud for mail-in ballots are relatively low. I would need to see it way more secured, and how they would do that, I'm not entirely sure. I would say, fingerprints would be great, but the problem is that you got to give your fingerprints to the government. I'm not a huge fan of that. Your signature is okay, but I'm not a huge fan of signatures either. Unless you are, absentee ballots are one thing, but I would love to see if we had some kind of way to verify. For example, let's say we get all post offices involved. You could bring your mail-in ballot to the post office. The post office would then validate your ID with the the ballot, or somehow, right? Maybe it's on the outside, I'm not sure. But I would like to see that appearance be a little bit more cleaned up. Not opposed to mail-ins. I'm not suggesting that there is some kind of mass fraud with mail-in ballots, but I'm not comfortable with them. So I hope that makes some sense. Which, again, people don't tell nobody that I'm uncomfortable with mail-in ballots, because then they'll really call me a socialist, okay? Don't tell them that. All right, so then we have the polling. Basically, Donald Trump is doing terrible in the polling here. I'm going to show you guys here. So here is Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump, national presidential polling average lead. You can see the DNC just led to a huge spike into Kamala Harris's favor. Now, keep in mind, the margin of error on a lot of these polls is about around 2%, 3%. High end 4%, but that's really unlikely. Most of them are between the 2 and 4% margin. So she's starting to creep outside of that margin of error. And furthermore, it is true that there have been instances where the Democrats have led in the polls and they end up taking the popular vote, which is what's reflected in these polls, but not the Electoral College. The problem is that if Kamala Harris takes the lead on this, and it gets too far away, well, now we're really starting to look like this is tipping in her favor. So right now we're creeping up to 4%. I would say if we reach up to 6% average, that looks like a Kamala Harris win. That, to me, when we surpass the 6% threshold, it's you're in some territory there. You're in some winning territory. So that's all I had. Let's see if good old Pisco is still hosting his space. I'm not gonna intrude into his space. Let's see what we got going on the Twitter sphere. Anything interesting? Let's see. We could talk about the RNC or the DNC delegates thing. That's what right now Pisco is talking about with some people. Let's see. Let us talk about the RNC versus the DNC. So a lot of people would sit there and say that the DNC was undemocratic. This is farther from the truth. It was actually pretty democratic. The largest issue that people bring up when it comes to the DNC being undemocratic is because Kamala Harris was just given the nomination. This isn't entirely true. The reality is that many other candidates could have stepped up, and some tried, but they were very unsuccessful. Let's keep in mind that Kamala Harris did not formally get the nomination until all the delegates convened at the DNC and showed their backing for Kamala Harris. Now, you might suggest, well, why wasn't there a brokered convention or a contested convention. Why would there be? Let's say that you are a party leader of the Republican Party or Democrat Party, whichever one you are. Okay. What does that signal to voters when you have a contested convention? That means that you don't necessarily support that candidate that is up there. That's what it signals. So, do you go and do a contested convention just for sake of getting to the same end result? And furthermore, let's say that there was a primary. Okay. Who would be the other nominee? There was a couple of months, two or 3 months for candidates to step up and say, hey, I'd like to run against her. But they didn't. So who would you vote for in that primary? Would you vote for Kamala? Would you vote for blank? What are the options there if it was contested? So what I'm trying to say is, for sake of party unity, you would want them to nominate Kamala Harris. And again, if we're to be, speculative here, we could look at the polling that she has seen amongst Democrats. She has had overwhelming support. So nothing leads me to believe that should there have been a primary, that Kamala Harris would not have won that primary. Everything points to that. Everything does. She had overwhelming support. There was chance of USA throughout the DNC. Look, you can say that's because she was the only one put in front of televisions, and that's fine. Who else had a viable chance at the nomination? Nobody. I hate that Kamala was given the nomination, but so was Joe. As a person whose primary vote did not matter, we didn't ever have a democratic process. We're just happier with Kamala than Joe. Well, look, I get it, and the way that the Democrat primaries work, and that the delegates have an ultimate say so. I'm kind of mixed on this. I'm starting my journey down there, but I kind of think that the delegates who are usually elected representatives, and I know this is kind of weird for me coming as a conservative to say elected representatives should be trusted. They have way more polling data than I, as a lay citizen, may have. So let's just say hypothetically. Hold on, let me let the dog out real quick. Let's just hypothetically say, for sake of argument, that every single voter voted, in the primary. They voted for Marion Webster or whatever. Marion, what's her name? Okay. They voted for her. But the party's like, look, she doesn't have, or Bernie Sanders. Let's do a Bernie Sanders, right? So let's say it was Bernie Sanders. What if that's not the best candidate to run? I'm kind of okay if the delegates have some kind of internal polling data to say, hey, look, I'm not so sure about this. And yeah, I voted for this delegate. But and the irony in all of this. Yeah, and the irony in all of this is, let's not forget here. And Wes, you're gonna love this one. Let's not forget, when we talk about contested elections, what happened on January 6th. Let's not forget that. Remember, everyone voted for these electors, right? You voted for that elector to go to DC and say, hey, I want to cast my vote for Biden or Trump or whoever it was. I'm not too keen on the J6th lore, so forgive me on my lack of knowledge. But you voted for that elector, and now guess what? They're sending a fake set of electors to go and overturn that vote. Which one is more undemocratic? That one, or the technically, I wouldn't even say technically undemocratic. I would say this one right here was not undemocratic. I would say the one where you send in fake electors is pretty undemocratic. So spare me with the pearl clutching on that. Journey, I would rather save my eyes and my ears and my brain from looking into all the entirety of J6. I've looked into it way more than I would like to already, and a lot of the stuff that I've seen has been very conspiratorial. I'll admit I'm not an expert on it by any means, nor do I really, quite frankly, want to be an expert on it. But exactly, Wes. I think what year are we in now? We're like 3 years past. I'm more than happy with what I've gotten so far. Let's see. Be gone, bot. Gone, bot. Trying to see some other videos. We still have a little bit of time before the wife gets home and stuff. Let's scroll through some Twitter. And like I said, my whole opinion on J6 is, look, some people did some things, and those people who did some things ought to be held to the fullest extent of the law. In fact, majority of them are given probation. There you go. That's my very simple take on it. I'd rather not talk about it. Let's go through Twitter, see what we've got some talking about. Oh,
who's
oh, this Waltz's dog thing, guys. I don't know if you've seen this. This is some pretty wild stuff. I've been following it. J6 prosecution and definition of and insurrection. I got you, Journey. Like I said, and on both sides, I think it's exhausting. So here is another conspiracy theory that came up, was the Walls dog.
mystery solved, I guess. Of course, this is a particularly ironic attack coming from the party whose own rising star, you know who I'm about to talk about here, Kristi Noem, boasted about hating her own family dog so much she took it to a gravel pit and shot it.
Oh my word. Oh my. I just oh my word. Did I hear that right?
This is a particularly ironic attack coming from the party whose own rising star, you know who I'm about to talk about here, Kristi Noem, boasted about hating her own family dog so much she took it to a gravel pit and shot it. And you know what? Tim Walz had a response for that too, sharing this picture on social media with the caption, quote, "Post a picture with your dog that doesn't involve shooting them and throwing them in a gravel pit. I'll start." So
Ah, damn. That's funny. Walls. Yo, the DNC has got, or the Democrats. Yeah, this is like the first time I've heard about this, Wes. I'll tell you, this is hilarious. The Dems have some jokes. This time around, the Dems have some like really good little like jokes and stuff. I have to give them to them. That was funny. Tim Walz, post a picture with your dog. That's great. Let's keep scrolling. Doom scrolling through Twitter here until we find something interesting to talk about. OMG, yeah, she was all about it. Yeah, that's wild. Did she win? I remember hearing something about her name. I don't remember what had happened. Was she elected, or she got primaried or something? Let's see. Democrats voted for Biden and Harris in the primary. Middle class tax cuts and border security. Oh, questions you can ask Democrats that will leave them completely speechless. Did you vote for Kamala in the primary? No, I didn't vote because I'm not a Democrat. I wouldn't vote in the primary anyways. When they go low, we go high. Era is over. No, she disappeared because America likes. Yeah, no, she disappeared because America likes dogs and she's weird. Yeah, it's weird. Do you vote for Kamala? No. What are your favorite Kamala policies? Well, I could look at the child tax credit. I could look at the first time homebuyers assistance programs. You could look at price gouging laws, blah, 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 blah. Are groceries cheaper now or 4 years ago? They were cheaper 4 years ago. What is a what like this one here, bro? Like, wait, I don't know if you guys can see this. Like, follow this. Did you vote for Kamala? Okay, cool. What are your favorite? Like, it's like election. What is one? Like, where did this come from? Like, where did this come from? This was like left field. Kamala wins, the world is over, the world ends. Look, Cavion, let me tell you something, Cavion. I have heard that on every election, okay? My first election would have been Romney Obama. That would have been my first election. And actually, Wes, I got to remember that. I keep saying I voted for Trump in 16, Cruz in 18, Trump in 20. Guys, how did I forget? My first election was Romney Obama. In which case I very vividly remember, and mainly because of the fact that my parents were conservative at the time and still are, I voted for Romney. So my track record is pretty hard conservative, okay? Just saying. All right. I've got Romney, I've got Trump, I've got Cruz. All right. Tell me I'm not conservative. Lying. But this is funny. Like the random what is a woman? My first election was the most important election of my life, and everyone has also been for almost 20 years. Exactly. Every year is the same thing, right? Every year it is the exact same thing. This is it. If we don't have if our election doesn't take place, we're going to lose lose America or whatever, right? All right. Socialism does not work. U.S. petrodollar is destroyed. Kamala is talking about an unrealized capital gains tax. Something about raising $5 trillion in taxes. So, okay, U.S. petrodollar is destroyed. I don't know if I would agree with that. We've had the most production that we've ever had. Kamala is talking about unrealized cap. Now, the unrealized capital gains tax, I would admit, not a huge fan of, even though it is for like above, I think 10 million or $100 million. And the higher it goes, the more that you start to affect jobs. So that I will say is probably not the best. Again, I will wait and see until the entire more detailed look comes. But again, keep in mind you'd have to go through Congress. Something about raising $5 trillion in taxes. Yeah, the $5 trillion, whatever. I don't know where that's coming from, but I would imagine it has something to do with that unrealized capital gains tax or something. We're not going to have a country. Yes, we will. We will have a country. We'll be fine, Cavion. We will be fine. Kamala is raising corporate and business taxes. If you have a link, show me. I'd be curious to look into exactly what it is she's raising there. Your parents are smart people to vote conservative. Well, I voted for conservative pretty much all my life. I don't know if I'd be saying the same this time around. Neither am I saying that I'm voting Democrat, so please keep that in mind. I'm not saying I'm voting Democrat. I'm not saying I'm voting Republican. I am neutral. Let's see. Do not earn in any circumstances. Oh, goodness. Yeah, this RFK transition thing is so odd to me. Like, I've seen a lot of people idolize this RFK thing as if it's some kind of big win. It's really not. I think I saw one poll recently, and I can't find. I'd have to look for it. I think it's this Polling USA. A lot of the supporters for RFK view Trump, like I think it was like 20% view Trump favorably. Let me see if I can find it in here. Let me see if I can find it. I remember seeing it today. Okay, so it's pretty sparsed out. Wow, 50% favorability. That's pretty amazing. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Among 18 to 29-year-olds in swing states, net favorables. Oh my gosh. Walz and Harris are at 21%. Trump and Vance are down 35%. Oh my goodness. I wish Caveat Journey started in the conservative media were white. Yeah. I'm voting against the Democrats. Washington State is a mess. House sales down and property taxes up 90,000. Okay, wait a minute. Journey. You had me, man. You had me until you mentioned property taxes. You do realize the president doesn't have much say about property taxes. That's your local government, bud. Your local government. Oh, well, against the Democrats. Okay. Fair. Against the Democrats. So maybe you're talking about your like inner cities. That's fair. But either way, that's your local cities. That has nothing to do with national politics. Trump going to reduce all this crazy spending of the debt is too high. Let me know how, Cavion, and I'll let you know what I think. Let's see. I'll go back here. Among 8 presidential polling. Golly. I can't say I'm surprised because this is like typical, right? Is that most 18 to 29-year-olds are pretty left. But still, that is nuts. That's crazy. And think about if she's able to rally in all those younger voters. Man, that would be wild. Journey, you can say that is wrong, and that is fine. You can say that is wrong. I've seen every kind of narrative that I can imagine under the sun arguing about polls. And look, all I'm gonna say is this: at the very least, use it as a thermometer. If you wanted to say that, only thing that matters, and I've seen this been mentioned before, well, the only thing that matters is election time. Well, that's great. That Journey, look, it's if what Wes is saying is true, it's a 3-hour video. I'll try to watch it, but it's 3 hours long. I'm not sure if I'll be able to stay focused on it for 3 hours, let alone have enough time to really sit there for 3 hours and watch it. I mean, I will try, but yeah. Wes. 2 hours and 43 minutes? Not quite 3 hours, but still 2 hours and 45 minutes is a full length video. Trying to find that video or the RFK thing. Oh, this is it right here. Look, if Kennedy were to endorse Trump, would that make you more or less likely to vote for him? No difference. 58%. More likely is 20%. More likely. Less likely is 20%. So, no difference. It doesn't. It could mean that they're supporting Trump. He's already yawning thinking about the video. Exactly, Cavion. I'm already yawning. Okay. Plus, it's already 8:00 here, and my wife still has not left her her mom's house, and she'll be probably at least another 2 hours before she gets home. So we have at least 2 more hours, guys, to talk about anything that you want to talk about. Is that 20% of his like 4%? Exactly, Wes. It's like 20% of his 4% that will be more likely to go after there. Use it to go to sleep. Why would I want to go to sleep for something that's such an intricate topic? Other reacts. Do we have any live streams we can react to and like listen to these dumpster fires? Do you predict Trump will drain the swamp next time he's president? No. He's not drained the swamp in how many years? Almost 4 years since he's been president. Or president. Trying to look and see if I can find a video that we can go over here. All right. Let's see if we can watch some of this.
Into slavery, right? There are situations where a person could do that, right? They consensually went into slavery. Like that would be something that like I would not allow. Like
okay, let me change it.
Its effect on society.
Let me change it then. Let me change it. How about instead of hiring the pregnant women, I just make a contract with Planned Parenthood to take their leftover like bio.
I jumped in at all the wrong time. I don't know what that's about. I'm just gonna keep scrolling through Twitter for a little bit. For all those people that are Fire all those people. Well, the thing is, Cavion, the thing about that Cavion is that he's got a bunch of Trump loyalists with him now. That's the problem. He's got a lot of Trump loyalists with him, and he's not going to change his ways on that pretty much at all. You feel the swamp? Why would he do it this time? He's not even running on that this time. Yeah. Hey, I'll be right back. I gotta go change over the clothes, guys. Let's do this. Y'all keep chatting. I'll be right back. It's only gonna take like 2 seconds. I just gotta switch the clothes over. Hold on. All right, boys. Well, I gotta get off. My dryer is broken, so that's lovely, and I gotta go figure out what the heck is going wrong with this. This is like the third time this thing is like crapped out on us. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get going anyways because the wife's gonna be home soon, shortly. What I will tell you is this. It has been an absolute pleasure. Please make sure you go to YouTube, you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Also, guys, we are going to be putting out more seasoned content out there thanks to our buddy Retron. And here's how we're going to leave off tonight. Is this you plugged vent? It might be Journey, but it's like it's just clicking. It doesn't even start. It'll click. It says it's sensing, and then it just dies. And I think I know exactly what it is because when I cleaned out the vent, it had a lot of lint in it. So it might be something that overheated and it burned out a sensor. It's my suspicion. Let's go ahead and end it on this. I just want to show you guys this really cool YouTube video that our buddy Retron put together. And we're going to be putting out more content like this shortly. Let's go to this little video here. I would get just watch how, like, first of all, let's start with this. All right. I want to show you guys the stream. So check it out. Look at that thumbnail. Okay. This is our boy Retron that did this. All right. Some deplorable behavior. Shall we? This. Oh, hold on, wait. Some deplorable behavior. Shall we? This is deplorable. Okay, let me explain for anyone who isn't aware, and I don't think we so beautiful. Yo, Retron, you did amazing. And then wait, watch this outro, okay? You don't have to watch all these things, okay? But watch this outro. Miss me with that. Please. Please do miss me with that. Amazing. Absolutely amazing, guys. Why is he crying like that crazy? Okay, anyways. All right, guys. Well, other than that, I'm gonna try to raid somebody real quick, show some love. let's go ahead and raid Lactoid. I think you guys are going to like some Lactoid. Let's go ahead and raid our boy Lactoid. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys here. Let's show some Lactoid some love. Lactoid TV. Make sure you are following me on YouTube, Twitter. There we go. Make sure you follow me on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. TikTok is blowing up, guys. Y'all really need to be there on TikTok. It is amazing. So anyways, guys, we're going to go ahead and raid our boy Lactoid. Let's show him some love. And other than that, guys, continue to love the Democratic Party. Now I'm playing. All right, guys. See y'all later. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.